I'm Ed Osterwald from London.
And I'm Leslie Meredith with Breakbulk, and we're here at Breakbulk Americas 2014 in Houston. It's our 25th anniversary, and I'm happy to be here with Ed Osterwald of CEG Europe, who just finished our first executive presentation this morning. Ed, can you give us a summary of what you talked about?
What I talked about was debunking myths about the oil and gas industry, and at the beginning I said there were 5 things that everybody's probably heard about the industry, none of which are true. And I provided some support to each of the 5 things.
Which do you think was the most surprising?
That OPEC's not a cartel.
Really?
That's the one that always surprises people, and the other one is that oil reserves grow much faster than consumption. Nobody seems to know either of those things.
That's interesting. And what difference does that make as they're doing business? How, if they now have the truth, how can they apply that?
What it means is that the limitations on the resource base around the world is a non-issue, and that the influence of OPEC over world prices is nearly a non-issue. So it makes the investment decision, I think, much more straightforward, provided the geopolitics in the countries can be dealt with, which will always be there. But I think those 2 factors are not well recognized and probably create some insecurity where there doesn't need to be.
So people left your presentation feeling more confident?
I thought so.
Okay.
Well, they'd never seen the reserve numbers before, at least portrayed like that. Yeah.
That's excellent. So where do you see oil and gas going in the next couple of years? Any big changes on the horizon?
In the U.S. or?
Let's talk about the U.S.
Well, I think shale oil and shale gas production will continue to increase to the point where the U.S. government will have to seriously consider removing the ban on crude oil exports, because it makes life very difficult for refiners in Europe, but it also would help the Europeans geopolitically with what's happening in Russia. So I think there'd be economic and political benefits to that, and plus it would make sense. Because otherwise you have to wonder how much further the shale oil output can continue to rise. The Canadians will continue to produce large volumes of shale oil. They have the same issue about what market does it need to go to. But in the industry's way, I'm sure they'll solve them all those problems.
That's good. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming by and giving us the high points of what you discussed with everyone.
My pleasure.
I hope
nice
you
to be in
enjoy
Houston.
the rest of the conference.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thank you.